In today's video, we will look at how we find the greatest common factor of two or more numbers. Another term for greatest common factor is highest common factor. Before we get into our examples, do you know what are the factors of a number? Factors of a number are all the numbers that can be multiplied together to give you that number. So if you're given some numbers and you're asked to find the greatest common factor, what are you going to do? You're going to list the factors of each individual number, then you're going to compare. You're going to identify the factors that each number have in common, then you're going to pick the factor that's of the highest value. Let's look at our examples. So the first one asks us to find the GCF of 4 and 6. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to list the factors of 4. So what numbers when multiplied gives us 4? We're starting off with 1 and 4 itself, because 1 times 4 gives us 4. So we write our 1, leave some space, and we write the 4. We're going to list the other factors in between the 1 and the 4. So what other numbers when multiplied gives us 4? I hope you're thinking about 2 and 2, because 2 times 2 gives us 4. So let's write our 2 and then our 2. Are there any other numbers when multiplied gives us 4? No, so those would be all the factors of 4. Let's move on to 6. What numbers when multiplied gives us 6? We're starting off with 1 and 6 itself. Then we're going to list the other numbers that when multiplied gives us 6. What numbers would those be? So that would be 2 and 3, because 2 times 3 gives us 6. So 2, 3. And there are no other numbers when multiplied that gives us 6. So we're going to do our comparison now. So what are the factors that 4 and 6 have in common? We notice that we have a 1 and 2 up here and we have a 1 and 2 right here. So those would be the factors that are in common for 4 and 6. Remember, we're looking for our greatest common factor. So you're going to pick the factor that has the highest value, and 2 is greater than 1. So the GCF of 4 and 6 would be 2. So GCF is equal to 2. Let's move on to our second example. Number 2 asks us to find the GCF of 5 and 10. So we're going to list the factors of 5 first. We're starting off with 1 and 5 itself. Are there any other numbers that when multiplied gives us 5? No. And there are some numbers that's going to be like this. The only factors would be 1 and itself. Let's go ahead and list the factors of 10. What numbers that when multiplied gives us 10? We're going to start off with 1 and 10 itself. What other numbers when multiplied gives us 10? 2 and 5. Is 2 times 5 gives us 10. And there are no other numbers that can be multiplied to give us 10. So these would be all the factors of 10. So we're going to go ahead now and do a comparison. What factors does 5 and 10 have in common? We have 1 and 5 here. We have 1 and 5 here. So those would be the common factor. But remember, we're going to pick the number or the factor that has the highest value. 5 is greater than 1. So the GCF of 5 and 10 would be 5. So GCF equal 5. The third example is asking us to find the greatest common factor of 3 numbers. But don't be alarmed, it's the same principle. You're going to list the factors of 2, then we list the factors of 4, then we list the factors of 8, then we do our comparison. So what are the numbers that when multiplied gives us 2? We have 1 and 2 itself. Are there any other numbers when multiplied that gives us 2? No, so those are the only factors. Now let's go ahead and list the factors of 4. But we already did that in the first example, so we're just going to go ahead and write it back. The factors of 4 are 1, 2, 2, 4. So we have 1, 2, 2, 4. Then we're going to go ahead now and we're going to list the factors of 8. We're starting off with 1 and 8 itself. Are there any other numbers when multiplied that gives us 8? Yes, we have 2 and 4, because 2 times 4 gives us 8. So we're going to write our 2, then our 4. Are there any other numbers that when multiplied that gives us 8? No, so these are the only numbers. So now what can we do? We can go ahead and do a comparison. So what are the factors that 2, 4, and 8 have in common? We notice that 1 and 2 is common to all three numbers. So you have 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2 here. Remember, we're looking for a greatest common factor. 2 is greater than 1, so GCF of 2, 4, and 8 would be 2. So GCF equals 2. Now for fourth example, I want you guys to pause the video, try this one, and come back to see if you got the correct answer. Okay, let's work it out. So we're asked to find the GCF of 3, 6, and 9. We're going to go ahead and we're going to list the factors of 3. Factors of 3, we're starting with 1 and 3 itself. Are there any other numbers that when multiplied gives us 3? No, so those are the only factors of 3. Then we're going to go ahead now, we're going to list the factors of 6. We already did this in our first example, so we're just going to go ahead and write back the factors. The factors of 6 would be 1, 2, 3, and 6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 6. Now we're going to list the factors of 9. We're going to start off with 1 and 9 itself, and then what other numbers when multiplied gives us 9. I hope you're thinking about 3 and 3, because remember 3 times 3 gives us 9. So we write our 3, then we write our other 3. Are there any other numbers when multiplied that gives us 9? No, so those are the only factors of 9. We can go ahead now, we're going to do our comparison. What factors does 3, 6, and 9 have in common? We realize that we have 1 and 3 here, 1 and 3 here, and 1 and 3 here. So those are the common factors. But remember what we're looking for. We're looking for the greatest common factor. 3 is greater than 1, so our GCF here would be 3. So GCF is equal to 3. I hope you guys now have a thorough understanding of how you find the GCF of 2 or more numbers. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment.